Hey guys, welcome to the Field of 68 YouTube channel. If you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button and you'll get more college basketball content just like this.
Same can be said a year ago for Hubert Davis down at Chapel Hill from what he did. Obviously, he flipped the switch 2 years ago. They were mediocre for most of the year. Then came March 5th. He ends K's season, his final home game. He spoils that. Then he ends Coach K's career in the Final Four. And then last season comes. Preseason number one. They are the first preseason number one not to make the NCAA tournament. And now we are at a crossroads for Hubert Davis entering year 3. He's one of their own. He's super likable. Doug, you've known him forever. He's like the nicest human being ever. But he's got to win this year, doesn't he? If they don't make the NCAA tournament and they got Baycott and RJ back with a new revamped group, isn't Hubert Davis done?
I think it would be hard to see them continue. Like, there'd be a Bill Guthridge type of feeling to it. I think they're going to make the NCAA tournament. I think they're going to be fine.
Me too. Me too.
But yes, I think that would. And by the way, I think I know the name of the guy. This is the opposite of Cal. Like, I know the name of the guy who would probably replace him. But I think that one.
I don't. Go ahead. I'm not sure of who it is.
Wes Miller.
Well, that
probably
yes, as long as
a year or 2 years.
Yeah.
Probably a year or 2 years away at Cincinnati from flipping it, But I think Wes Miller would be, because Roy Williams is still in very much. Bubba Cunningham's a very good AD, but Roy's still very much in control of that thing. So look, I think Hubert's going to be given a long leash. But yeah, if they have a disastrous season and not making the NCAA tournament is a disastrous season, I could see a way. But again, Carolina these are the new times, right? Like, it used to be an honor to go play at Carolina. Like, yeah, okay, got to come with the money. They do have plenty of talent. It's not like that league is great. You're never going to get a better time in the ACC with Syracuse changing regimes, with Louisville being down. Pitt still hasn't gotten it going just yet. But yeah, I could see it. But if there's ever a guy that's going to get an extra amount of time, if he has another bad year, it'd be Hubert. Yeah. But I could see a Guthridge type of deal if it went really, really bad like it did last year.
All right, Borzello. Caleb Love's gone. They bring in a bunch of transfers. Again, other than Baycott and RJ, it's a completely different team. How much are you buying that Carolina's going to win enough so everybody's just backs off and like, all right, you know what? Maybe Hubert is the guy again.
Yeah, I think they have a top 20 second weekend tournament type team on paper. I think Hubert realized that, maybe they need to get a little older. He went out and got a couple of high major tested guys in Cormac Ryan and Harrison Ingram. Elliot Cadeau, I think he's one of the best passers I've seen in at least high school basketball in a really long time. He's going to take some time to get going, but I just think on paper, and obviously they were on paper number one last season, but I just don't see a complete collapse for another year. And to me, people can point to like Matt Doherty and say, okay, he was gone after 3 years, but he had he had the one good year, second round exit, but he had an awful season when they won 8 games. And so I just think it's a completely different dynamic, assuming they make the tournament. If they make the tournament, this all goes away. And the other thing is, Wes Miller would be a logical replacement, but I don't think Cincinnati's a tournament team this year. And so that would be going on 3 years with no tournament for him at Cincinnati. You can make the case Hubert's had a better season than Wes every year in the past 3 years. And so I just think that makes it a tough kind of replacement if that's the next guy, whether it's now or in 5 years or whatever. And that's another school where if it's not Wes, who is it? And maybe they open up and go wide and have a national search, but they haven't shown a tendency to do that in a really, really, really long time, maybe ever. And so that I think in 4 months this conversation is going to sound pretty far fetched in terms of Hubert on the hot seat, because I think this is a top 15, 20 type of team.
Yeah,
I think
the big question.
Both those guys probably will be around.
Well, Cal's always going to have the pressure, though. Cal's always going to have pressure no matter. If they're 22-10 and like a 6 seed in March, they were a 6 seed last year, and people were saying it wasn't good enough. So he's going to have heat either way. Hubert, I think, like Doug said, he's going to get that extra time. He's going to get a little bit extra patience from the fan base.
The big question with Carolina is going to be Elliot Cadeau. And, because we've seen now he's older, he reclassed obviously up, but he was older anyway. But this is a huge trend in the college game where kids reclass when they're in 8th grade. So they stay back. And then if they're highly recruited, then they reclass. And, obviously we've seen it with the kid who's going to Duke. We can probably talk about on a different show coming into next year, right? But when we've seen reclasses at the point guard position, they haven't worked out well. That's my only thing. And I know that he's traditional freshman age of a college basketball player. He's 19 years old, so he's not he's not 17. But that's my only thing is I think
it'll help that he's going to be playing next to 22-year-old RJ Davis and 20.
No question.
Cormac Ryan's probably 24 now.
No question.
So he's got some older guys next to him that could handle the ball. Yeah.
Right. And look, Harrison Ingram's not great, but he's a good, solid player. Cormac Ryan, I think, is pretty damn good. They made some very smart additions in the portal of guys that don't need the ball or don't need to overhand the ball, but they do need somebody who creates shots for them. And Cadeau's that guy. And what he does from January 15th on is going to tell you all you need to know about this team because he has the ability. It's just reclass as freshman point guards haven't traditionally worked out well for the point guard or for the team.
Hubert was 20-13 last year, 11-9. They were 7th in the ACC. They cannot have a repeat performance of that. Like you guys said, they got to get in the NCAA tournament or else I think that's it for Hubert Davis.
Thank you for watching the Field of 68. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here, hit that like button, share this link with your friends, or check out the description for some other places that you can consume Field of 68 content.